Okay, those who know me best know that I've always been a fan of sharks. Um, as a kid, they scared the living crap out of me. They probably still do to some degree today. I believe the Jaws series was a total disservice to them, although at the time it was terrifying. I've always been a big fan of Shark Week. It was always a great time to have cable. I always loved watching the History channels, Discovery, Nature channels, and such, because they always had some great documentaries and specials, featuring various types of sharks. This past year was kind of a joke. Sharknado, give me a freaking break. I don't like the fact they made it into a joke. If you really look at the world over, the amount of sharks that are killed yearly is ridiculous. Well, right now, we've been learning more and more about them, especially the great white sharks. Due to some tracking that we've done, there are at least four that I know of, female great white sharks that have been equipped with trackers, and they've been tracked on what they call the Great Shark Highway, which pretty much runs from Massachusetts down past Florida and into the Gulf of Mexico. Very interesting deal that we're seeing. Number one, it's proving that great whites come in very close to the shore, and if we're finding out they're doing them now, they've been doing it all along. And you don't hear much about people getting attacked by them. You don't hear about the stupid ass Jaws stuff where the shark, has a vengeance to him, where he's going to hunt down specific families and crap. We've also started learning, where where we believe some of their breeding grounds and birthing grounds are. So it's already kind of known in the Pacific a little bit, because we know about the place in Mexico. In the Atlantic here, it's been a kind of a mystery for a long time. We do know that they love to go in the Gulf of Mexico, where they can hunt, for the giant squid and such. What people need to realize is most of them feed on fish. Humans are not their targets. There were 47 attacks that have been documented, and over half of those have been off Florida. They're not great whites. Great white attacks seem to always be in South Africa or Australia is where you hear about them. Here, no. Tiger sharks, spinner sharks, blackfin, and bull sharks seem to be the ones who attack people. And even then, I think it's a case of mistaken identity. You don't tend to get many man-eating sharks. It's usually going to be people who are sitting on surfboards or swimming or some such. I think the sharks just mistake the limbs and such that they bite for small prey animals. And it's an automatic attack and feed response when they'll bite. The internet has been beautiful in the fact that you can watch videos that people have taken the world over. This is something that wasn't available to us 20 years ago. And I saw one where it was an Australian Special Forces guy was swimming, and they got a video of an attack. Not a very clear video, but he got attacked while he was swimming and they believe it was by a bull shark. It lasted maybe 8 seconds. The shark bit him, he started hitting it, and it pretty much let go. It realized, hey, this isn't prey. What they tend to eat is not human. The great whites probably eat the biggest things of all, and and one of their main food sources are seals. If you ate flapping around like a seal, look like a seal, you're probably pretty safe. For those of us who live in Florida and the coastal regions, we either are one of them, or we probably know somebody who's probably been in the water within about 20 or 30 feet of a great white shark and didn't know it. Why? Because the shark didn't care. When I found out that at least one shark is known to have been breeding a little bit north of us here, right off the coast of Cumberland Island, or that's where it is believed it birthed its baby or babies. Makes you wonder, why aren't we hearing about this? You would think if a pregnant great white gives birth, it's gonna be hungry, or it's gonna want to feed its children or teach them how to hunt. Yet we don't hear about the attacks. Why? Because they're going after fish. one of my favorite shows to watch, and it may sound kind of boring, is River Monsters with Jeremy Wade. Love that British bastard. He's awesome. You know, that's one of those people who's on my list of people to meet one day. He has done a number of specials about sharks, proving how some of them come into freshwater rivers and such, and how close they get to humans. They will literally pretty much be on the verge of bumping into you, and they still won't attack. Why? Because food is plentiful, and they recognize that you're not food. You're not listed as food for them. There is something to be said for a shark's feeding frenzy, but blood equates to food for them. Not many people go sloshing around in a shark-infested area when they're bloody. I mean, granted, World War II, when ships went down and people got hurt, okay, you hear about the sharks because, well, you got bloody people who were pretty much flopping around like wounded seals. In today's day and age, it doesn't tend to happen that way. So I think we need to change the way we educate people about sharks. Jaws should not be the first line of defense. This new travesty that they've done to Shark Week should go away. They need to get back to the educational shows. That's one of the greatest things I've always loved about Discovery, History Channel, Nature Channel, Military Channel, and such. They're educational. They try to put facts in there, at least the facts that are known, and they teach you something. Everybody should always be striving to get better and learn more as they grow older. It doesn't matter how old you are, you should always be striving to know more. And I believe that's what we need with sharks. And I believe if we know more, we'll understand them better. If we understand them better, maybe we'll stop killing them needlessly. It's one thing when you kill an animal for food. Another thing when you kill an animal that's become a nuisance animal. Various predatory type animals, they get judged that way. They become nuisances, and it's decided whether or not they need to be put down. But sharks don't really have that. People can kill sharks pretty much at their leisure. You don't tend to hear much about them being protected. That needs to change. The oceans are our last great resource, and I believe we need to start protecting them. I'm kind of dreading what the effect is going to be on not only the shark population, but the rest of the marine life population in the Pacific Ocean, thanks to Japan's stupidity and what they've done, with dumping all the radioactive waste into the ocean itself. It's about time we stopped destroying our planet and stopped killing off all the native species. Start learning to protect them. Start learning to respect them. Maybe even revere them a little. Yeah, I have a little bit of a fear when it comes to sharks. But I do respect them. I do revere them. My goal here is going to be one day I'm going to take the plunge and I'm going to go diving. And I want to dive where there are sharks. I want to see the sharks and overcome the fear. Because they deserve better. That's it. I just wanted to give a little spiel about sharks. I was reading about the ones that have been tracked on the highway, and it makes me warm and tingly inside because I don't know what it is, but I love them big fishes.